Hi, so this is a video of a call that I had with some of my group coaching clients, and I wanted to share it here because I go over the bars that I like to have and I give them some tips. They're a couple weeks into their program with me, and in this program, we're incorporating both fitness and nutrition. But they have some good questions that I wanted to showcase here in case you're having some of the same questions. And then the bars that I like to use, I get a lot of questions on those. They're a really easy snack, so you don't really have to think about it, grab and go, so that those times when you don't really want to pack something or you haven't packed something, you've got a really great option there for your mid-morning and mid-afternoon snacks. Well, keep it up. Be kind to yourself. Just, try to make a plan and don't worry too much about like maybe the food quality. Just worry about the timing and say, okay, I'm going to keep it tight during the day, and then at night just kind of let myself feel like nourished so that you're not
Yeah.
going like hungry crazy, but just like, you know what, now I can allow myself a little relaxing sugar time and then head to bed. Okay, cool. So I wanted to go over some nutrition stuff with you guys. Like the bloating thing, that is, salt too. So the things that you want to really make sure that we're watching are salt intake, um, fats of all kinds, and not because we're watching the amount, but because they're really caloric. So there's a lot of calories and just a little bit of fat. So that's just something where, if, when weight is kind of what you're looking at, or at least fat loss, right? It is a calorie game. Um, we talked a lot about food quality because that's how you allow yourself to be in control of managing your portions and the types of foods that you're choosing that are actually nutritious and not gonna, have a bag of chips that is then 300 calories that do nothing for you, right? And then you're hungry and up early. So that's where, food quality comes in. But at the end of the day, it's calories that we're looking at. You take in too many, you gain weight. Often it's fat. You take in too little, you lose weight, and there's that balance. So the things that you'll want to look at when you're kind of planning your day is, cheeses, oils that you're cooking with or in a salad dressing, nut butters. All of those things are great, and we want to use them. And even like a whole milk yogurt, because I do think whole milk yogurts are better than skim, just because they're less processed. But watching those portion sizes. So I always recommend the first month or so just measuring it out. Literally, like pour your teaspoon of olive oil, put it in the pan, just so that you have an idea of what you're going in. And I call it kind of a calorie audit. So you're really just kind of making yourself aware of like, what am I putting in here? When it's a fat, maybe read a little bit about what is this portion size and how many calories is in that, just so you have that awareness. So fat is one thing that you're going to want to just kind of be aware of in each of your meals. That being said, like eggs, things that have fat in them, I wouldn't worry too much about. But, just those things that are kind of like really fat dense, steak, that kind of thing. So you want to be aware of that. The other thing that you want to be aware of course, is sugars. So that's another thing that's high calorie in a small amount. So just being aware of what types of sugars you're putting in your body. And that's why we really kind of take them off the table. We don't need like straight up sugar. We get them in our vegetables, we get them in our whole grains, we get them in our dairy. So it's more of a treat and a luxury. So that's why I say like try maybe once a day, give yourself that sugary treat, whether it's right before dinner or after the kids go to bed, save it for then. So we're watching, really just paying attention to those fats and sugars and not really caring too much about the rest, right? Like we've got whole grains, we're going to kind of maybe put that in the next column of like, let's just be aware of the amount of grains that we're eating. portion size. You don't really have to do a full audit on the calories, like reading about it, but that's just one. You don't want to be taking in all grains during the day. A lot of people, what I see is overeating nuts. So going back to the fat, just because I skipped that, handfuls of nuts, really watch those portion sizes. Chocolate covered almonds are some people's favorites for after dinner. Watch those. So not that you can't have them, just create the awareness around them. Fruits, vegetables, like kind of have at it. Those are fine, but always try to pair, since fruits are high in sugar, pair them with a fat or a protein so that you don't get that blood sugar spike. Balancing the sugars with the proteins is where you're going to find that balance so that you don't spike your blood sugar up and then kind of create that wave during the day where you're always trying to catch up and catch up and catch up. So a lot of people ask me, because I'm really a big fan of using bars during the day to kind of portion out your nutrient-dense snacks. There are a lot of great bar options, you know, from the days when we were young and it was just like power bars, and then they had those like 40, 30, 30 bars. They were all gross. Now there's a bunch of delicious ones, especially if you have a sweet tooth. And so people always say, but this is high in sugar. Why are you telling me to eat this? And that's because they're very well laid out in terms of the contents and the portions of the nutrients in there. So you're getting this really nutrient-dense food. Yes, it's going to be high in sugar. Those are natural sugars for the most part. Sometimes they're sweetened. Like Kind bars I like less because they just have sugar and honey drizzled on them. But a lot of times it's just the fruits and the natural sugars that are coming out. Sometimes it's Splenda or a fake sugar, so you want to watch that. I don't love those just for that whole toxin thing, your body holding on to the toxins and keeping them, storing them in the visceral fats, which makes the visceral fats harder to lose. The more toxins you're taking into your body, the less your body's able to kind of, or the more your body holds on to those visceral fats, because that's where those toxins like to sit and hang out. So moving away from those over-processed foods, or really any processed foods like fake sugars. If you are going to have sugar, have real sugar. But that being said, there are some delicious bars, and sometimes it's all you can have. And so, like, for example, this one. This one is delicious. It's a Power Crunch bar. It's chocolate. It's peanut butter. It's got these wafers. It is, actually, I'm not exactly sure because I don't look at the nutrition facts on this one. I think I did once, and it's fine. But yeah, it's stevia. Like, I taste it. So I don't eat these that often, but I'll put them in, you know, like once every 2 weeks or maybe once a week. I'll have like half of one as sort of my, I'm out running around. That's the one in the pantry. It looks the most delicious. I'll have that. So it's not that you can't have it, but don't let those kind of more processed ones be the ones you rely on. That being said, I say that being said a lot. I kind of need to stop that. Lara bars, those are another of my very favorites. These are all food-based. So it's all nuts, seeds, dates. This one is just cashews and dates. Oh, there. Just cashews and dates. And it's all smushed up into a bar, and they have all these flavors. And these ones are really good. So they are, you know, relatively caloric. For some people are looking for a 100-calorie bar. Don't get those. Those are kind of silly. These are 220 calories. So if I'm having it as a snack, often I'll break it in half. I have a snack, and then maybe an hour or two later, I have it as the other half as a snack. Just because it's easier to portion out. So next up for my favorite bars are Quest bars. This is not my favorite flavor. We ran out in my pantry, but chocolate peanut butter, I'm sure it's good. But they have this one that's like cookie dough, and it just tastes like cookie dough, like a little healthy, but it's amazing. It's another one. It's a grass-fed whey protein, so you know it's good. I think it's grass-fed. I think I read that somewhere, but it's not saying it here. It's fine. It's better than maybe those Power Crunch bars in terms of the processing, but it's also got the Splenda. So it's another one I kind of, or this one's stevia, another one I kind of, sometimes I try not to have this be my thing that I rely on. Usually it's the Laura bar or this one, and it's empty because I love them. This is a perfect food peanut butter cup, you guys. And it tastes just like a Reese's peanut butter cup. And it's like dark chocolate with sea salt on it. They have other flavors, but this is my favorite. It's high in sugar. It says it's high in sugar. You read it and you're like, ooh, that's a lot of sugar. 11 grams. That's a lot for 2 cups. But it's really low glycemic index because of the balance of the fats and the proteins. And within that, like peanut butter and chocolate, it's like all these ground up vegetables and things like that. This one's super natural, not supernatural, but super natural. And it's, they come in 2. So I just grab one, have it like on my way to take the kids to school, have another one later in the afternoon. I have my breakfast usually after I take the kids to school. And that's sort of how I just organize my day kind of around those. They're my great, like just grab one and go, and they're delicious. Sometimes I even have it for dessert. They do have a full bar that's, they have different flavors, like a ton, but the main one that they started with is just like this peanut butter bar, all like jammed up into a peanut butter thing. If you have to go, you can go. I know some of you are hanging on there. But it's like kind of honey and peanut butter, and it's all ground up with the vegetables, and it's really good too. That one's like 300 calories, so that's like a full meal replacement, or break it in half. So that's another one I really like. These bison bars, have you guys tried these? They're epic. These are the savory ones. My husband likes them. These are going to be higher in sodium, so just watch that. But these are great. Usually it's grass-fed proteins, really high-quality ingredients, all totally natural stuff. So if you want a more savory, this is a great one. And we're going to look at the 2 that like are pretty popular. Cliff Bar, Kind Bar. Okay, go poo-poo. Call me when you're ready. Sorry. Kind Bars, like I said, often drizzled in extra sugar, so maybe not the best. Cliff Bars also have a lot of sugar. It's nothing that is really, it's all organic. It's great ingredients, but it's high in sugar. It's maybe not the best nutrient layout, but they're good, and they're totally fine option. Again, probably half is good. These, just pretty much nuts and sometimes dried fruits, drizzled up with honey and sugar or whatever, agave. It's a good one. I don't even really love them that much. I guess I like it when it's all mashed up, because then to me it's just like eating nuts. But it's fine. I don't mind this. Oh, well, my son is done pooping, and I'm done with all of this. So, okay, I'm coming. 1 second. If you have any other questions about nutrition, I know you guys have to go. So let me know, and see you next week and talk to you on the Tribe Boxer. Bye.